And we're back in the Bullpen 2024 during Bio Week 2024. Welcome, Colleen.
Thank you so
As
much.
I stumble over your name, I'm doing so great already. Yay. I have 3 questions for you, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. The first one I would like to ask is for you to tell us a bit about your personal background and then how you got to the Bullpen.
Absolutely. So I'm actually a biomedical engineer by background. I've had a number of personal experiences with healthcare incidents that have led me to a real passion related to this type of work that we do. My grandmother contracted a MRSA infection within a hospital setting. Unfortunately, that opened my eyes to the significant issues around hospital-acquired infections, which are often driven by a lot of challenges for sanitization and disinfection within the healthcare environment. And given my engineering background, decided to see how we could potentially find solutions to address these issues. And interestingly enough, there was LED technology that was obviously becoming much more relevant over a decade ago, and cost curves coming down. And so we developed essentially an LED technology that's able to continuously provide antimicrobial benefits through white light.
Oh, wow. That is fascinating. So what made you think of that as a solution?
You know, it was interesting. It wasn't necessarily, for lack of a better term, a light bulb idea.
But I'm wrong.
Yeah, but I was looking across a number of different technologies and platforms to try to address the issue of actual surface contamination. So we started essentially with the problem and understanding that surface contamination is playing a very large role in the transmission of these germs, in addition to the air, obviously. And so we thought, how can we essentially improve what is currently being done, which is essentially manual wiping and washing of surfaces, which has significant limitations associated with that. And there's always room for error in terms
people
of
just not doing it because they
not
don't feel
doing
like
it
it that
correctly.
day.
Yeah, exactly. Or missing an area, or not using chemicals correctly because they have dwell times on surfaces and things like that. And so we looked across, for example, ultraviolet technologies, which have been around for a very long time. But UV is very good at killing germs, but it's not safe to be used around people. So there were limitations of that. And then again, LED technology was really starting to become more commercially available. Interestingly enough, there were studies back over 100 years ago where they demonstrated filters over sunlight that it had an antimicrobial benefit at the 405 nanometer range, but they had no way to emit the light, obviously, at that time. Fast forward, now with LEDs, we can emit all different types of spectrums of light. So we really looked across a whole plethora of different ways that we could try to address this continuous challenge of surface contamination. So long story short, through quite a bit of R&D and development, we essentially came to the solution that, hey, if we could have something that's a white light that's going to be on all the time and also be able to provide this antimicrobial benefit, it can address this challenge around continuous cleaning and contamination, essentially.
That's great. Can you tell me a little bit more about, I think we got into the technology.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit more about the company. Like, where'd the name come from? Where you founded? Like, your academic spin out? Give me a little bit of the history of the company.
Sure. So our founding team was a team of engineers from Rensselaer Polytechnic in upstate New York. And so it was really a combination.
School.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. So I'm biomedical. We had a mechanical and electrical, essentially, is what we sort of teamed up to bring essentially a Venn diagram of all these challenges that I was just discussing in order to try to address this issue. So a team of engineers, essentially, that we had started coming out of my personal experience, as I said, with my grandmother. But we then essentially looked to raise capital, obviously, and we started in healthcare settings. So we wanted to make sure that we could demonstrate in a clinical setting that just by changing out the lighting with our tools, it's able to have a significant and sustained reduction in the bioburden levels. So we started out with clinical research in the healthcare setting. And then as we grew as an organization, we've been in business for a little over 12 years now, actually. And so we said, we started to get a lot of demand for places that had other germ challenges. So places like life sciences, biotech, where there's, aseptic environments that have, very low bioburden, but they want to keep it at almost zero. And so we started to expand into other pillars of commercial environments outside of hospitals, biotech being a big one, food processing facilities, athletic facilities, and then actually we've got another part of our business where we embed the LEDs in consumer products. So like humidifiers, the number one issue is mold and mildew issue.
Are airplanes coming soon?
Yes, so Delta Airlines is actually one of our partners.
I didn't even know this. This was not a setup.
So we work with Delta Airlines in their lavatories on the planes. We do cruise ships, so hospitality and travel obviously is another huge transmission point for germs. So the nice flexibility and versatility of LEDs is that anywhere you can put a light, essentially you can use this type of technology.
That's great. And I want to ask one last question, because the Bullpen is all about finding each other, seeing how we can help each other, and helping each other. So what would your ask be? How could people help you and help Vive?
I would say, first of all, the Bullpen community has been very fantastic thus far, even in the early time that I've joined. Everybody is very willing and able and capable of helping, and has a lot of really interesting resources to bring to the table. So very appreciative of that. In terms of the Bullpen community, I mean, we have a passion as a company to protect as many people and places as possible with the product. And so particularly in the life sciences and biotech sector, we're looking to continue to deploy across new builds, new pharma builds, essentially. Anywhere that there could be a germ risk, we see contamination issues in the industry all the time. It's a big challenge. There's a lot of unique issues of why, but we're trying to essentially expand the deployment of the technology across the life sciences sector.
And as an English minor, I love some good alliteration and some consonants and protecting people in places. Well done.
Yes, indeed, it works. That's true.
Colleen Costello of Vive, I want to thank you once again for coming to the Bullpen. If you guys think you can help her, find that connect button on LinkedIn, connect with her, inbox her, let her know what you can do together. Colleen, thank you once again.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.